The evolutionary imperative, why sick systems reject healthy people, the symptoms of sanity, and breaking the contracts of dysfunction by Danny tomorrow. Imagine you're standing in a room where everyone has been breathing in toxic gas for so long that they've convinced themselves it's oxygen. Then one day, you wake up. You realize your lungs are burning. You realize you're suffocating. So you do the most logical, natural thing a human being can do. You walk over and you open a window. Suddenly, fresh air rushes in. But the people in the room don't thank you, they gasp. The clean air shocks their system, and their lungs burn in a completely new way. They point at you and they scream, "Close it, you're hurting us. You're destroying the peace." And they don't attack the toxic gas, they attack the person who opened the window. That's you. We have a name for this phenomenon. We call it a dysfunctional system. But to the people inside it, well, they call it home. We tend to think of dysfunction as chaos, a broken machine spinning out of control. But that's a lie. Dysfunctional systems are not chaotic. They're highly organized ecosystems. They're meticulously balanced architectures of unwritten rules, shared secrets, and silent contracts. In these systems, peace is not the presence of harmony. Peace is simply the absence of truth. When you decide to heal, you violate that contract. When you start setting boundaries, asking difficult questions, and refusing to play the role you're assigned, you're doing something incredibly dangerous. You're introducing a new variable into a closed loop. And you're not just shifting a dynamic, you're threatening a survival mechanism. And this is a paradox that breaks so many hearts. In a sick system, the healthiest person is always identified as the pathogen. You become the symptom of their dysfunction. Because you're the one rocking the boat, you're blamed for the storm. You're told you're difficult, you're told you're too sensitive, you are told you're selfish. Why? Because your newfound help is a mirror they never asked to look into. Your refusal to accept the unacceptable challenges everything they've surrendered to. Our systems, familial, organizational, cultural, they behave like organisms. They prioritize homeostasis above all else. Even that stable state is slow, collective suicide. Even if that stable state is slow, collective suicide. When one person starts healing, it's like introducing a foreign antibody. The system mounts a defense: gaslighting, shaming, exile, love bombing, guilt trips. You're too sensitive. Why can't you just be happy? After everything we've done for you. See, this is why so many people on the edge of a breakthrough end up sabotaging themselves. The loneliness of being the only one awake in the nightmare is pretty excruciating. Your own nervous system, wired by years of dysfunction, screams, "Go back to sleep. It's safer." But here's the new horizon I want to launch you into today. What if being the problem is the most sacred role you'll ever play? Not because you enjoy the pain, but because you're the bridge, the immune response, the evolutionary pressure forcing the entire system toward greater integrity. The healthiest person doesn't just survive the dysfunction, they learn to metabolize it. They start turning the poison into medicine, not just for themselves, but eventually for everyone willing to wake up. And I've watched this in my own life. When I stopped playing the role assigned to me, relationships would fracture, some would end. But the ones that survived, they transformed. The family members who were ready began learning the profound power of compassionate boundaries. The families who were ready began their own quiet revelations, and the ones who weren't learned the profound power of compassionate boundaries. Because love with distance is still love. Love isn't about becoming arrogant or enlightened above everyone else. It's about owning up to a radical responsibility. Your healing is not selfish, It's the most generous act possible in a sick system because your light is contagious. But here's where we have to launch into a new horizon. Here's the mind-bending truth that shifts everything you thought you knew about being the problem child, the black sheep, or the difficult partner into something else. If you're the healthy person being rejected by a sick system, stop looking at yourself as a victim of their misunderstanding and see what you actually are. You're the evolutionary imperative. In biology, when an organism is failing, it requires a mutation to survive. The body's initial reaction to a mutation is often to attack it, to destroy the very anomaly that might save the species. When you heal, you become the emotional mutation of your family lineage, your relationship, or your workplace. You're that immune response waking up, and you're the ancestral trauma finally meeting its match. The system rejects you because systems are designed to maintain their status quo, even if the status quo is fatal. But your disruption is not a flaw. Your disruption is the cure, even if they never accept it, even if they never thank you for it. By refusing to adapt to the sickness, you prove that a higher state of existence is possible. Healing is not a spa day. Healing is an earthquake. It's violent, it's disruptive, and it reshapes the landscape of your life. There will be moments when the loneliness of the fresh air feels worse than the comfort of the toxic gas. There'll be nights you question your own sanity, wondering if you're right. Wondering if maybe, just maybe, you're the problem. If you are the one standing by the open window, taking the blame for the cold breeze, hear this. Do not close the window. Don't shrink back into the shape of their wounds just to make them comfortable. Don't apologize for being the glitch in their matrix. Embrace the problem. Be the most difficult boundary-setting, truth-telling problem they've ever encountered. Because you're not just breaking a cycle. You're building a new world. And while they may fight you today, your courage is the blueprint for the generations that will follow you. They'll finally know what it feels like. Every dysfunctional family, toxic workplace, and manipulative relationship ends up developing its own immune system. But it's not one that protects truth. It protects familiarity. It doesn't ask, is this healthy? It asks, is this what we've always done? Because the body instinctively rejects foreign objects, dysfunctional systems will inevitably reject healthy behavior. This rejection isn't proof you're wrong. Sometimes it's simply proof that you've become unrecognizable to the disease. So think about how this adaptation begins. If every person in a room whispers, silence feels normal, the first person to speak in their natural voice sounds loud. Not because they're shouting, but because everyone else forgot what a voice sounds like. So children learn this terrifying lesson without anyone ever teaching them. Love can become conditional upon participation. Don't question, don't disagree, don't feel too much, succeed too much, or fail too much. Become exactly the size the system can tolerate. Many adults, spend decades believing this is love. It isn't. It's adaptation. The human nervous system isn't brilliant, but it will sacrifice. This human nervous system is brilliant, but it will sacrifice authenticity to preserve belonging. Because thousands of years ago, rejection meant death. So we become experts at surviving rooms that slowly erase us. We laugh when we're hurting, apologize for existing, and shrink our dreams. We carry guilt that never belonged to us. We call exhaustion ambition, people-pleasing kindness, and emotional starvation loyalty. We even rename prisons until they sound like homes. The healing interrupts all of that. Healing simply says no, not angrily, but clearly. And clarity is revolutionary. Notice something extraordinary when one person heals. Everyone around them receives an invitation. Some accept it, some quietly begin their own journey. Others become furious. Why? Because your healing silently asks a question they weren't prepared to answer. If freedom is possible, why am I still choosing this? That question can feel unbearable, not because it's cruel, but because it's honest. People will often say, "You've changed." When they do, smile. The caterpillar changed too, and no one criticizes the butterfly for abandoning the crawl. Growth always looks like betrayal to the version of you that depended on staying small. This is the paradox. The healthiest person in the room often feels the loneliest. They are no longer fluent in pretending. They cannot unknow what they've learned or comfortably laugh at cruelty. They begin speaking a language called truth inside communities that only recognize performance. Eventually, something miraculous happens. You'll stop asking, "How do I fit into this system?" and begin asking, "What kind of system deserves the healthiest version of me?" That question changes everything, because now the goal isn't acceptance, it's alignment. Imagine what happens if millions of people reach that realization. Entire industries built on insecurity will begin collapsing. Workplaces replace fear with purpose. Children inherit honesty instead of trauma. Not because humanity became perfect, but because enough people refused to make dysfunction for normal. To mistake dysfunction for normal. History has always misunderstood healthy people. Galileo wasn't dangerous. Gravity wasn't offensive. Truth has never attacked comfort. It simply refused to kneel before it. Every major leap in civilization began with someone making everyone else uncomfortable. Not through violence, but through reality. So maybe the bravest thing you'll ever do isn't changing the world. Maybe it's refusing to let the world convince you that your health is a disease, that your boundaries are cruelty, and that your honesty is rebellion. This system isn't resisting you because you're broken. It's resisting you because you're becoming impossible to control. And every boundary you set, every cycle you refuse to repeat, and every child who watches you choose courage over conformity isn't merely changing your life. It's quietly rewriting the operating system of humanity. The future doesn't begin with louder voices. It begins with the healthier ones. So the next time someone tells you you're the problem, pause for a moment, look around, ask yourself one simple question. If bringing light into a room causes panic, was the light ever the problem? Or was it simply the first thing that allowed everyone to finally see? Thanks for listening. Goodbye.